Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
What's up with this weird thing in the chat today where people are mad because they think we're taking long breaks? The breaks are very normal.
They're literally, and I mean literally,
They've never been more normal.
the shortest breaks, 6A to 6P.
They've never been more normal. There's nothing abnormal about the lengths of the breaks today.
No show on 1620 The Zone is getting you back to the show quicker than the Connor Happer
So
Show.
all of a sudden, one person said it, and then they're like, yeah, I think these breaks are long. What's up with that? I can assure you everything is very cool and very normal. So normal that Headley wrote in a couple fun facts on the YouTube stream.
Oh, thanks, Headley.
Interesting fact, it takes 5,437 individual Dorito chips to fill a standard size bathtub.
All right.
And then also, Headley followed up, 8960, that's the number of ounces of Dorothy Lynch that fit in a 70-gallon standard size bathtub.
I'm guessing Headley is a math whiz of some kind.
I don't know. Maybe it just was out there.
Rattling these stats out.
Those are great stats.
Mm-hmm.
You ever wanted to fill a bathtub with Dorothy? Have you ever wanted to fill a bathtub with something other than water?
Yes.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that pull in my life, but I've never done it because I don't want to clean it up.
I feel like the time's probably passed you by on that one.
Because I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like the bathtub, like it becomes. You kind of have to throw the bathtub away after that. And how do you throw a bathtub away? Like,
That's right.
I don't want to buy a new bathtub.
Just put it on the curb with a sign taped to it that says free.
Yeah,
It'll be gone.
But then I have to take out the bathtub
Sure,
and then install a new bathtub, and I'm not equipped for that.
No.
So if maybe I don't know if they're in some sort of like demolition, situation where this is the last time you'd ever use this tub, I'd start filling up with chocolate syrup or something like that.
Could we find a clawfoot bathtub at a garage sale or consignment store of some kind?
Yeah.
And in the parking lot, fill it with something.
I hope
all you would need there is a truck.
By the way, I've never had any pull to bathe inside of the thing that was in the bathtub. I just want to fill it up and see how it would look. If anybody else wants to come along and, jump into the bathtub full of caramel sauce, then
that's on you.
They can feel free to do so.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it because we're not going to clean it up.
What's that commercial we're running now about the old furnace, the old heater in your house?
Yeah.
Is your bathtub older than the moon landing? Marilyn Monroe?
Give it to us. We'll pour stuff in it. Yeah. Like a bathtub. You know what we never had as a kid? Not to go too far. I mean, we're off to a great start today. We never had the places where you could just jump into the foam pits.
Oh,
I am so jealous of these kids. They get to jump into the foam pits. We had the ball thing, the disgusting ball chamber, but you didn't get to jump into it at all. It was just a pit of balls.
Mm-hmm. You kind of had to wade through it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like deep enough to where you could like really go under or anything like that. I want to jump in one of those foam pits.
I hate the texture of that foam, but I do like the idea.
Like the freedom of just jumping off of a platform and diving into a pit of foam.
I've seen my kid do it.
That sounds awesome. I really want to. And so you went to one of those foam pit parks and you didn't jump in? Or are you allowed to?
There's like one section where you can, and it is difficult to move. Like, I already thought, like, okay, I'm gonna have a little trouble getting through there, but oh my gosh, it was a struggle.
Okay, all right, now we can get back on topic, I suppose. But just know that that's something I want to do. I want to fill up a tub with something that's not water, and I want to jump into a foam pit. That's what I want to do. Those are my next things.
Okay.
I also got a text from a close friend last night, and this person alerted me that they were getting a panini press, and I said,
"Whoa, what year is it?"
I want a panini press.
Is it 2002?
No, it's 2025, and it will be 2026.
Are panini presses back?
Were they gone, or I don't know the status of panini presses.
Yeah,
I want one. That's what I know.
I had one. My parents had one,
and this person suggested that we combine the panini press plus the meat slicer and then open up a deli like we
Sure.
have always dreamed.
Sure.
Greg in Myrtle Beach writes in,
Hello, Greg.
wonder why the middle school rule huge third-year bump topic has been pushed back even further than that Caitlin Clark thing. What's the topic? I mean, we're going to talk about the defense here in a second, but the year 3 bump did not happen.
I was told it would. It was our birthright.
The year three bump really did not happen. That doesn't mean that there wasn't progress being made behind the scenes. Nebraska is in a better place as a program than it was a year ago. That could still be the case.
Sure.
I don't know that for sure, but that could still be the takeaway from year 3. But no, the year 3 magic, the fairy dust that was supposed to be sprinkled all over year 3 Matt Rhule, we did not get that. So
We did not.
and we will push that topic further back than the Caitlin Clark thing. I wanted to get to an email that I got during the crossover this morning.
Oh,
From Michael, as I said.
hello, Michael.
Good morning, Connor. I read the opening title on the YouTube screen today about does Matt Rhule deserve credit for firing John Butler? And I saw red. No, absolutely not. This is not a solution at Nebraska anymore. It's become an epidemic year in and year out. What program can actually make consistent strides if all we do is fire and hire new guys every 1 to 2 years? That has to deject players, remaining staff, and paints an unflattering picture of the program. Can you go through a list of coaches we've gone through and just cut the list down since 2022? I mean, I could, but you can't name them all without looking. I mean, like assistants or just coordinators? Either way, the list is long because Nebraska's had 2 different staffs over that period of time.
Gross.
And Nebraska just will be on its 4th defensive coordinator in 5 years next year.
That's probably
well,
not
actually,
good.
they'd be on their. Let's see. So they had 2 in 22. They had two in 22.
Okay.
And then 23 and 24 were the same guy. And then 25 and then 26. So what does that equal? 4 in 4 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's for defensive coordinator. For offensive coordinator, they've had 2 over 3 years with Matt Rhule, and then several in the Frost era before that. And
Whipple.
Will they have a new one next year? I don't know. It's possible. Anything's on the table for the next couple months. But anyway, I digress. Michael continues. It's ironic. Everyone who comes in and talks about we have to be big and physical and play like Iowa, Frost said it, Riley said it, and I believe Matt Rhule has at least swayed that way. You know the difference? Iowa has low turnover when it comes to coaches. Laugh all you want at Brian Ferentz. They still beat Nebraska year in and year out. Take away the fluke Casey Thompson game in 2022, and they've owned us. Well, they've owned us regardless of that as well. Why can't any coach get it together here and put an actual concrete staff in place that works and leave it alone? Whose fault is it? It's the head coach's fault. So no, Connor, we do not give 2 likes to Matt Rhule's decision to fire another guy and have a new defensive coordinator for the umpteenth time again. This has become an embarrassment for the program and, quite frankly, the university. It's not as if our coaches or head coaches are leaving and taking the next step. It's that they can't take any step in the right direction to ever get this thing figured out. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk
Let's
about it.
walking taco about it.
Great episode description by me.
Yeah, it really got the people reacting.
It got y'all triggered.
It's a topic that I just threw out there, but it's a good. I mean, continuity is undoubtedly a good thing, and yes, it is part of the cake and part of the formula to why Iowa has been what Iowa has been over Kirk Ferentz's time. They've had continuity. They've had the same defensive coordinator forever. And it's a same. They've had staff members move in and out and stuff like that. It's not like they've had no turnover over that period of time, but yeah, the big names are the big names and they stay. But that's also because it's been good the entire time, right? And I do think there is something to, and I think this is part of Michael's point, which is, like, how are we supposed to know if this is going to be good or not if they don't give anybody chances? If you have 4 defensive coordinators over a 4-year stretch, do we really have a great sense of how good that coach is going to be? And honestly, I think there is some real truth to that. There is some real truth to that. But so I think ultimately you have to sort of, as weird as this is to say right now, because I know not a lot of people do, you kind of just have to trust the coach's judgment on these things, like the person who's in charge.
Yeah, Matt Rhule's in the building every single day.
So you just have to be like, well, if he doesn't think this is going in the right direction, and this is not something that will get better, and this is not the right person to have lead it going forward, then we have to go along with that. Once again, I'm not making the argument that Butler should have stayed. I don't think that's where you want to start as it pertains to continuity on the staff. But Michael's got a great point. I mean, the continuity is really important, and continuity breeds identity.
Absolutely.
I don't know that Nebraska really has one right now. With that being said, Butler was viewed as a guy who was, but how it was sold to us, not directly, but sort of how we coped with it, as the kids say these days, how we sort of come to accept John Butler, because people had questions about him right away. They were like, this guy's never really coordinated defense at the Power 5 level before, just 1 year at Penn State. So like, what are we supposed to do with this? And the sell was, well, it's really Rhule's defense, and Rhule's never going to have a bad defense, and they're always going to be able to stop the run. And also Phil Snow is there to kind of keep everything in line and all that stuff. Well, it didn't really work out. They didn't have a good defense. Or 2 weeks ago, I would have told you that they had a fine defense. Now I tell you, after these last 2 games, that it was a bad defense, because those 2 things over the last 12 or so days here, they just can't happen. It can't happen that way. I don't care about the personnel that you have, but it's how it looks too, and it's a moving target. And I don't feel like Nebraska was physical enough. I don't feel like they were tough enough, and all that stuff. And so, Rhule has to decide who he wants to put this in charge of. And, if we're getting closer and closer to reckoning day, which we are every single day, whenever reckoning day is, year 4, you're closer than you are in year 1. Year 4 is next year. So I want to put a guy in charge who I feel like can get us to the point where it's successful. And let's find something. And then we'll worry about continuity at that point. I like, it's not, you can't just do continuity for the sake of continuity. Right? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
If and make the switch.
And so it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult thing to balance. But I 100% agree with the idea that Nebraska is a program that needs some stability. There's no doubt. You just have to find the right.
Yeah, you can't just have anyone.
And so people will go back to like, hey, if there's one thing about Rhule, it's he makes people. I don't mean this in a bad way, but like people on the staff, like he makes them uncomfortable, because if you're not going to win, if you're not going to have successful units, then you just won't be here. And so I think there's a positive in that too. We've always asked coaches to do that. He is long since spelled the notion of like, I'm hiring my friends and I want to give my friends opportunities and stuff like that. Like, that's not a thing here. He's not that person. So do give him credit for that, because that's something that we've complained about before here, But all that matters at the end of the day is if the defense is good or not. I think that's kind of what
it was
want.
Teetering towards the end of the season, and it finally broke the last 2 or 3 games.
Yep, 2 for sure. Let's go to the phones on we start another day of phone calls. I can't wait. What's on the line today on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline? Here's Joe. Hey, Joe, you're on the show. What's up? Joe is not on the show. Sorry, Joe. Maybe
Sorry, Joe.
I said Joe's point.
Oh,
And Joe was like, "Oh, he just
Well.
said my point. I'm out of here. Mustache Adam tweets in.
hello, mustache.
Can't both things be true at the same time? Rhule deserves some credit on identifying that things weren't working and making a quick change. But he also was the one who put himself / the program in that position. It doesn't have to be black and white. I agree. Yeah, but people are always looking. People are always looking to find a way. What? It doesn't make sense to me. If I don't like Matt Rhule, then I'm going to go toward the bad things. If I do like Matt Rhule in the direction that this is headed, then I will give him, credit. And I agree with you completely, Mustache Adam. It is a little bit of both. Then we got a tweet from let's see. Oh, Masshole Husker. Yep. Callahan's biggest mistake was holding on to a bad DC for continuity in buddy ball. Yeah, I don't think that's happening here. I do not think that's happening here. So yeah, absolutely give them the credit for that. Back to the phones. This is a different caller, but let's get right in here. Here's Derek on the line. Hey, Derek, go ahead.
Hey, so I usually text in, but it's not to be easier to explain over the phone. So people keep saying the year 3 bump didn't happen. But one thing that I think we're maybe overlooking a little bit is really just the state of college football now compared to where Rhule was at his previous stops getting those year 3 bumps. I mean, imagine all the guys that we lost to the transfer portal on defense last year alone. Having those guys here would have made a hell of a big difference in the bump and our defense just in general. So I don't think it's necessarily fair that, yeah, we didn't get that year 3 bump, but state of college football is completely different than it was in his previous stops. So I think that's just completely overlooked by everybody. So
it's true.
That was really just my comment there.
Yeah, thanks, Derek. Appreciate it. But that doesn't mean you can't have continuity. I mean, you could still accomplish that at a higher rate than Nebraska's had it over the last several years. There's no doubt. But yes, it is a completely different game. And I think if we're looking at it on a large scale like that, we talked about this at the time. When Nebraska got Dylan Raiola, I just think that kind of changed everything. And it accelerated Matt Rhule's timeline. It made you sort of, I don't mean this in a bad way, because you had to, you want to create a good team around him, but like you had to cater to him a little bit. You had to put your resources into making sure he's got good weapons around him and an offensive coordinator and all this stuff. And so I think in year 2 last year, it wasn't a normal year 2 for Matt Rhule, right? Year 2 was not just a double down of year 1. They lost a lot of guys and they brought in a bunch of new guys in the transfer portal. And I think year 3, please do not take this as me making excuses, because I'm really not, but this is just how I see it. I think year 3 was, it was almost a year 1 in a way, because you had new defensive coordinator. Seriously, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's year 1, you got to give them a break, and all that stuff. But after the second year, with all the guys that you lost, and you're playing these younger pieces on the roster, you had to, it was a bit of a reset, this year. So I don't know what year 4 is going to be, considering year 1, 2, and 3 have been boop, boop, boop. It has not been linear. And I think that's the caller's point, right? The caller's point is, Derek's point was like, yeah, it's not like it has been for Matt Rhule at these other stops, where at Temple, it was just, okay, stack. 4th year, we're good. 3rd year, we're good. Baylor, stack. 3rd year, we're in the Big 12 championship game. It has not been that way here. It has not been. And I think the acquisition of Dylan Raiola probably threw a little bit of a wrench into all of that stuff. Just accelerated some things and changed some things as far as the future outlook and stuff like that. That doesn't mean the plan's bad. It's just, I think they got probably a little bit off path. And, that's a big retrospective on what the last couple of years have been like. I don't have a name here. Josh, who is this?
Oh, that's BJ. I'm sorry.
All right, BJ is on the line. Hey, BJ, go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Hey, I just have a question, maybe a couple of questions. First of all, and I know we've talked about this probably on the show a lot, but Matt Rhule went to Big Ten media days and he flat out said I'm not going to imitate his voice, but he said this defensive line is going to be hell on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have tried to minimize that. Oh, he was just trying to give the defensive line and the coaches confidence. I mean, what was he supposed to say? I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but you don't hear these other Big Ten coaches going out there making these declarations that just totally fall flat. I mean, that defensive line, the leader was 2.5 sacks, Connor. I mean, so my question is, and I'm not trying to be rude, like, is he just BSing us? Or does he have that sort of lack of awareness about the Big Ten, about his roster, about the people he had on the defensive front? And I appreciate your time, and I'll listen to your answer.
Thanks, BJ. Appreciate the call. Good question. So I know a lot of people have problems with that. First of all, I think if you took a sampling of other Big Ten coaches around, you would hear stuff like that.
You just don't pay attention to the
Correct.
things that
so there's
Northwestern's coach says about their team before the season.
There is that, but I'm not minimizing what you're saying, because I do think a lot of people, are
it's a huge sticking point.
And I think there's a couple different things going on. Number one, yes, he is trying to infuse confidence into a young team. Number two, I think he misfired. I think they thought that they would be more explosive on the defensive end. I just think they didn't get what they thought they were going to get out of that group. So he's not lying. He's not. Hey, I need to go out there and compliment my worst unit. He's trying to will things. He's trying to will things into existence a little bit, and I think he thought that they would be better. He obviously thought they would be better, because there was the whole thing about how Matt Rhule's defenses are always good.
We're always going to be good.
We're especially going to be good against the run.
Mm-hmm.
They sucked against
and that's why he fired the defensive coordinator.
So we'll jump into the stats a little bit more when we look at the drive chart a little bit later.
Why'd you say it like that? Why'd you say it like you were working Sunday Night Football?
Oh, Marcus Mariota. I remember when that happened when he was in college briefly, and then everybody just reverted back to Mariota.
Mm-hmm.
Mariota. So 19 sacks would be a Nebraska low in a non-COVID sense. Disco Bobby D's 2017 Hell on Wheels defense that was feeling the strain. It wasn't explosive. It couldn't stop the run. So it does all come back to that at the end of the day. Quickly before we get to Alan here, got a little something from CBS. This is
CBS.
Just thought, we're keeping an eye on Penn State and Kalani Sitake today.
And crumble cookies.
Matt Zenitz says this: for me and Chris Summer, per CBS Sports sources, BYU is working hard to keep head coach and current Penn State target Kalani Sitake. And there's some optimism at the moment on the BYU side that they may be able to keep him. They say that it's a fluid situation.
Oh, no.
It has fluidity. So that's good. I don't know. It's a battle. Penn State versus BYU. What is Penn State going to do if they don't hire?
That's an interesting question.
This is the first time they've even really
said, hey, here's who we're looking at. Here's who we're targeting.
Yeah. It's the first time it's been like that in this whole entire thing. Whew. Pat Kraft. What's going on out there? He's in a bad spot right now. All right. When we return, Alan Bell will join us. We'll talk some football over the weekend. Football. We love football. We're a football guy. Alan's a football guy. Coming back on 1620 The Zone.